The war in Ukraine is descending into an even darker and more complex phase, with Russia making steady advances. Just days after Moscow declared the liberation of Kursk, Russia's military machine continues its push into Ukrainian territory, making any hope of a quick resolution seem increasingly remote. This shift is not only evident in Russia's brutal ground assaults, but also in its innovative military strategies. On April 26, 2025, the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, reported that Russia was preparing to incorporate motorcycles into its combat tactics for the summer and fall of 2025. The move is designed to mitigate Ukraine's growing drone threat, as Russia suffers significant losses of armored vehicles. With resources thinning, Moscow has turned to motorcycles, scooters, and civilian vehicles to give its troops greater mobility across the front lines. Footage released by the Russian Ministry of Defense reveals Russian troops executing both offensive and defensive maneuvers on motorcycles during training. This shift signals a broader tactical approach, using motorcycles to accelerate Russian movements while evading the precision of Ukrainian drones. However, the loud engines of these bikes present a challenge. Riders are unable to hear approaching drones. Nevertheless, with Ukrainian forces holding tight to the skies, Russia has little choice but to adapt. Meanwhile, to the east, Russian artillery continues to hammer Ukrainian positions. The 1st Tank Army's IMST-OS, self-propelled howitzers, target mortar crews, armored vehicles, and infantry with ruthless efficiency. In the Krasnoarmeysk direction, a D-30 howitzer from the 90th Guards Tank Division eliminated a mortar crew, and near Grigorovka, in the Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, a Gyatsin B-towed gun took out an enemy UAV command post. Russian forces show no sign of letting up, preparing for the next phase of their assault. In response to the growing offensive, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for increased international pressure on Russia.
Since Easter, the occupier has resumed its usual assault activity. Of course, at the cost of significant losses, the Russians are trying to advance. And every day of such battles at the front proves that Russia is really trying to deceive the world, to deceive America and others, and to further prolong this war. And that is why we need pressure.
With Russia adapting its tactics, Ukraine's struggle for survival is entering an even more perilous phase. As Moscow's offensive accelerates and its forces evolve in response to mounting losses, the prospect of a swift resolution becomes ever more distant. The war rages on, and for Ukraine, an end remains nowhere in sight.